can we talk about the bread we're having with it? Who made the bread?
You made the bread.
I did, from scratch. I'm very proud of it.
100% from scratch?
100% from scratch. Literally, I put the flour and the yeast in the water. I had to let the yeast
That's why it
bubble.
smells off. I can't explain this, but it smells like Cape Cod bread. What's up, chicken nuggets, and welcome back to Taste Like Chicken. I am your host and certified picky eater, Joseph Paul, and we are joined once again by my co-host. She's way too excited about the bread maker she just bought, Lauren. Hi, sis. How are we doing?
I didn't buy a bread maker. I am the bread maker.
What do you use to make the bread? A bread maker?
No. A bread maker is a machine.
What do you use?
The oven, and I hand kneaded the dough.
You didn't
and
buy
it all
a machine?
Together. No, I did not.
What was that box that came in?
That is it's a sourdough kit that came with the thing you cook the bread in.
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
a pan,
your
like a whole thing.
culture.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. We now have just a jar of yeast or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeast.
Just what is it?
Flour and water.
But like there's mold in it.
There's not mold in it. If there's mold in it, then we're all going to die. No.
Isn't that how bread...
It's naturally developing its own yeast.
Yeah, it's mold.
No, it's not mold.
For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. And for those of you who have not, my name is Joseph Paul. I am the world's pickiest eater. And on this show, I try foods for the very first time in my life. What are we trying today, Lauren?
Today we're trying soup. You're not looking forward to this at all?
No, I'm not looking forward to this. Soup has never been high on my list of foods. I don't think it's been on my list at all.
You have
honestly.
like this weird vendetta.
I have a problem with soup. I really do.
You're angered by the idea of soup.
I'm genuinely, that's a great way to put it. Like it seems soggy. It's got like a sweaty mist to it. It doesn't appeal to me in any way. Yeah, it has a steam to it, but not a nice steam. It's got a gross steam to it.
So the soups we're trying today are tomato soup, we're gonna do minestrone soup, beef and vegetable, chicken noodle, and then we're gonna wrap it up with cheddar broccoli. A lot of people will probably be expecting us to do like a clam chowder, but we're going to hold off on that one. One, we're both from Massachusetts, and I feel like you need to just have like an authentic clam chowder. Two, I'm allergic, so no thanks. And three, canned clam chowder is just not the move. It's just not.
In any other circumstance, you saying that we're skipping the clam chowder would be a good thing for me. I'd be like, oh yeah, we're skipping that one. Great. But then you said cheese and broccoli.
It's like a heavy cream-based broth that has cheese added to it. It's not just pure cheese with broccoli in there.
That didn't make me feel any better.
Well, you're going to have it.
Let's get started.
So tomato soup's already starting off really well.
You know, this was the one I thought was going to be the easy one. And then I saw you making it. They give you a can full of tomato mucus that you throw in and then you add This
is not a soup I generally just eat on its own. Like, I'm a grilled cheese tomato soup person, and I like to like dip my grilled cheese in the tomato soup. So
the musk of it keeps invading my nose.
you really make this much harder for yourself.
What do you mean I make it harder for myself?
You're about to eat this and you have to specifically say diluted mucus.
How would you describe that gunk you threw in the pot?
It's tomato soup concentrate.
It's disgusting is what it is. And the fact that it dissolves so easily too. If you had just said to me it's because it's blended up tomato, so that's the consistency of it, I'd be like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then it dissolved instantly. So I'm like, no, you did something to this.
It's called hot water. It's called cooking.
Tomato soup. It's like someone microwaved Hawaiian punch. Obviously, texture's easy because it's a liquid.
Yeah.
You could drink this.
People do.
So that's, but that, yeah, that taste is odd.
They make it in microwavable like soup containers that you can just drink it out of.
I would never do that. Can't imagine wanting to do that.
Your wife does that.
So you know how like chicken tenders, when you're sick, taste better?
No.
They taste different.
Yeah.
I think they taste better when you're sick.
Well,
but anyway, I do wonder if this, when you're sick, is like a hits the spot kind of thing.
Yeah. Because think of when you have a cold and you're like cold and achy, having something really hot, like internally.
Right, but there's other things I could have really hot. I could have tea. I could have hot chocolate.
Yes, you can, but...
I don't see myself wanting hot ketchup when I'm sick.
No, but soup overall is very nutritious when it's a bunch of veggies. So when you have hot soup...
Is this nutritious? It really doesn't seem like it is.
It's good though, right? Tell me I did a good job.
It's good.
Tell me I did a good job.
I don't believe you did everything, quite honestly.
So this is the final show. Thank you so much for watching.
Oddly, that was much more pleasant. I don't like a soggy bread, but what it did for the flavor was better.
Yes.
Weirdly enough, a lot of foods on this show, the issue is that I'm like, this is hot and it got cold too fast. This is the reverse. I feel like I might like this better cold.
No, not tomato soup.
I don't like it hot.
You're thinking ketchup?
Yeah, probably
because just ketchup.
This is warm ketchup. I don't want warm ketchup.
Welcome to minestrone soup. Insert bling sound here. So this is the type of soup he was referring to as mushy bullshit.
There's just a bunch of chunks and flecks of shit inside of a like.
So there's herbs and diced vegetables.
Runny, like,
and there's some pasta. So there's celery, carrots, there's kidney beans, there's garbanzo beans, there's pasta.
There's beans in this? Mm-hmm. I've never had beans.
Well, you're gonna today.
So like logistically, like I'm gonna demonstrate. So there's liquid, broth, there's broth, and there's the ingredients. Mm-hmm. Do you slurp and then munch, or do you just the whole thing? Well, fuck that. I don't want to do that. The other thing, too, is there's pasta in this. I haven't had pastas yet. Why are we doing a soup that's full of things that...
Dipping your toe.
What the fuck is that thing?
That's a garbanzo bean, a chickpea.
Minestrone soup.
Two things.
Yep.
One, applaud me.
You didn't gag.
Because that is 100% something that a month ago I would have been gagging.
1,000%.
I'm getting better. But two,
I still fucking hate it.
This is exactly what I didn't want it to be. What's funny is I think I actually might like the taste of this.
I think it's just too foreign to you to be able, like, I think this is one you'd have to try over time, multiple times.
It's just there's no, I'm not doing that. I'm not having this multiple times. It's just like there's little like flecks coming off that are reminding me of hairs in my mouth. It's mushy. It's lukewarm, which is the worst kind of warm.
It's not lukewarm. It was steaming.
Luke is the worst kind of warm.
It was so steaming hot. It was boiling.
Yeah. I like the taste of this.
See what happens when you try things?
I do like the taste of this. And I will say the beans, which I thought were going to be the worst part of it, are the easiest part of it.
I thought you would
because I can
like the
chew them
beans.
really easily. Like they're pleasant to chew. The rest of it is incredibly mushy. It's slimy. It just this is not a format I would pick for any food.
All right. Well.
So far.
So this is beef and vegetables.
This one I think I'll have an easier time with than the other one, just because this one to me looks similar to the roast that you made for Thanksgiving.
That was good, right?
I didn't say that.
So this has beef, obviously. It's got carrots, celery, peas, and
why are we doing all ones with
potatoes?
carrots? I don't like carrots.
Because that's a staple in a soup. I can't.
Well, further evidence that soup is trash. Beef and veggie soup. Here we go. I don't like this.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like this.
What's wrong with it?
Everything. I thought I would like a thicker broth.
No.
So far, I do not.
Okay.
The beef doesn't add anything of value to me. And this is again, soup is exactly what I was afraid it was going to be. It's just mushy bullshit in a stew. It's just stewing in its own stew.
You really
I'm
should
trying to
just
think of the
write-
way to phrase this.
You really should just write advertisements for companies. Come have our mushy bullshit in a stew. The selling would just be.
I agree. Yeah, this one is a definite no for me. I don't like the way the beef tastes in this. That is something that's surprising for me, is that
I thought this had a higher chance of success, to be honest. So I'm surprised.
I thought this one was going to be a good one for me. I don't like this at all. On top of that, I'm confused by the fact that it's beef. I liked beef, but I don't like beef here. That's very confusing. Are we trying bread in this one too?
Yeah, just so you can just taste. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this one's more gelatinous. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah, the broth on this one is a hard no.
Okay.
I don't like the taste of that at all. Beef and veggies, I thought this was going to be the best one. It's the worst one.
I didn't think it'd be the best one, but I didn't think it'd be the worst one.
I'm disappointed. I was banking
worse
on
than
this
tomato?
one. Oh, yeah.
Presenting soup number 4, chicken noodle.
This is the one from the Snowman commercial.
Yes, this is the
The one that makes mom cry.
Yeah.
Yep.
There are other, like, Campbell's has a chunky chicken noodle that has, like, carrots and celery and, like, thick noodles in it and whatnot. This is just, like, the traditional
This one,
literal noodle, tiny bits of chicken.
do I need to grab broth with
You
this?
do want broth with this, yeah.
It's kind of hard. Because the noodles, like, hang off.
Use your spoon, and you can cut the noodle on the side of the bowl.
See, this is stupid. They did not think this food out. I have to cut the noodle on the side of the bowl. There's not enough chicken. That they did not. You guys need to work on your ratio with this one. This is done wrong. Oh my God. Campbell's chicken noodle soup. We have some issues here. Is it good? Yes. The chicken's good. The noodles are good. It's not often. I don't think I've had a noodle on this show that I've liked.
You've really never had a noodle.
Well, I had the ramen noodles, the instant noodles.
Did you like those?
I think I liked the chili one, but I digress. It tastes good,
Okay.
but we have some problems
What
here.
are the problems?
Number one, I'm supposed to get broth, noodles, and chicken on the spoon, but the chicken's little chunks and the noodles are these long pieces and the soup is soup. So like it's so hard to
The
get
soup
all
is
of it
soup.
on the spoon without noodles hanging off or chicken floating away because the broth is too thick and the chicken's so small. This is a pain in the ass to eat. On top of that, the broth is so liquidy that it's dripping as I pick it up. I don't want that. Don't drip on me.
So stew is too thick, but this is too liquidy.
Weirdly enough, I'm starting to romanticize the tomato soup. I didn't necessarily love the flavor of that, but the consistency was dead on. It
Baby,
didn't
come
drip,
back.
and it wasn't so thick that I felt like I was eating slime.
You can get thicker tomato soup. Not thick. Well, yes, that. But
Don't. It was fine. Give me the rest of the chicken, you fucking thieves. You have more chicken. I know how big a chicken is. You could have put more in this. Yeah,
You need more broth,
The
though.
noodles. See, but every time I go to get more broth, the
Why don't you
chicken
just
floats
take a-
away and
take
the
a-
noodles are hanging
Can you just
off.
take a spoonful of broth so you can taste it? Because I think you would like the broth just on its own.
Just the broth. It tastes like noodle water. It's just noodle water.
It's not noodle water.
This is stupid. This one could be great, but y'all are fucking it up. We're going to make it at home, and I'm going to make the perfect chicken noodle soup. The chicken and the noodles are going to be the same stumpy length, so they don't hang off the spoon, but they're big enough that they don't float away in the broth, so I can get a decent amount of broth, because this is stupid.
And the moment Joe has been eagerly awaiting for, cheddar broccoli soup.
I'm mad at you right now. We already did 4 soups. We did not need a 5th one, and we definitely did not need it to be this.
It's going to congeal if you don't eat it.
Don't. Are you serious? You cheese people are perverts. This is gonna congeal?
It's going to get a little slight film on it as it, you know.
Oh, like old pudding?
Kinda.
Oh,
When you stir it, you'll see.
oh God, it's got like a membrane.
What the fuck is... What the... No. Oh, and it's giant chunks. What the fuck, Richard? No. No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
This is about improving my diet. This improves nothing.
You're eating it. There's a massive piece of broccoli.
You like this?
I love this soup.
You're a pervert.
What is that? How does that make me a pervert?
You're a pervert. This is disgusting. Oh, God, it smells awful. What the? Cheddar and broccoli. I'm using no thank you bite. I'm using it.
Really?
I have to say something, and we're going to have to bleep it on the show, but I have to say it. I feel like I just ate a Chia Pet. That was disgusting. No. We're done here. I learned everything I need to from that bite. We're moving on. Using my no thank you bite. This is for perverts. And if you love it, you're a pervert. The way that I had to... Fuck you. I'm so upset with you right now.
Oh, it's so good.
The way... I'm going to murder you. The texture of this, the taste of this...
Delightful.
Everything about this is an immediate
Amazing.
no. Is it horrible? No. Would I have thrown up if we'd done this the first episode? Absolutely. I would have thrown up so bad.
The flavor's not bad. It's just the texture.
The flavor's bad, but it's definitely not the worst part of it. I remain confounded and disturbed by cheese people. It's fine that you like cheese. It's what you're doing with it. You have too much power and you need to be reined in. You're doing stuff like this and it needs to stop. Knock it off. You cheese people.
So another bite?
No thank you bite. I'm using the no thank you bite. I'm done with this.
I think what we're getting here is the bread was the star of the show today.
It was.
I think that's what we're really getting.
And I will say, as angry as I am with you, you did me a solid by making this last. Because if this had been in the middle, game over. I'd been like, we're not doing any more soups.
I know.
We're done here.
It was very intentional, and that's why I put chicken noodle soup before it.
So what did we learn today?
That soup is delicious and you're dumb.
We learned that most of my trepidation about soup was spot on. A lot of it is mushy bullshit inside of a paste that I don't want to eat.
There's no paste.
I will say, though, I did learn something new today.
What did you learn new today?
I think there may be a soup out there for me. Because there were elements of each soup that I was like, if you could take these and put them in this, would be good.
Okay.
You know, like the chicken noodle soup had a lot of good flavors, but not good proportions. The tomato soup, I loved the consistency of the broth, but not the taste.
Okay.
I think there's some combination out there that is the soup for me. What that combination is, I don't know, but we'll have to revisit this.
I'm not really sure how we're going to rate this because I feel like they're all going to be zero-piece nuggets, but let's get into the ratings.
Not going to be zero-piece chicken nuggets.
No, the highest will be 4. Tomato soup.
Tomato soup, that one was going to be so low on my list, and then I had the other soups.
And then the other soups happened.
And it really put tomato soup in context. Because I can see why people like tomato soup. I don't think that flavor is necessarily for me, maybe with modifiers, but as it is, no thank you. The texture was great, though. I really enjoyed the texture of it compared to other soups. I'm going to give tomato soup a 5-piece chicken nugget.
It's our highest ranking today.
Not for me, but I get it.
What about minestrone soup?
Minestrone soup, that was the one with the beans. Mm-hmm. This rating doesn't feel fair, but I need to understand that soup is my problem. It's not yours. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give it a 7-piece chicken nugget because the issues I had with it, I know are issues about me.
You did like the flavor of that.
Yeah, I liked the flavor of it. The issue was a lot of texture issues, and that's a problem with me, not with the soup itself. You know
Do you think that's one you could have and try and probably get used to maybe and like?
I think once we try more foods that are kind of liquidy and mushy and I get better at handling them, like the dexterity of it,
sure, I'll revisit it and we'll try it again, see how it goes. But right now, yeah, the flavor is great, but that texture, I don't vibe with that right now. The beef and vegetable, I'm genuinely like upset about. I thought that was going to be a winner for me.
There's different types of beef and vegetable. That was like a country beef and vegetable, so it had a thicker based like broth for it.
Will the beef taste different in other ones?
There's ones with like sirloin, so there can be different styles of that. Yeah.
Okay. So we may just have to find the right soup for me.
The right beef soup
that
for you.
was definitely not it. That one, it felt like I was eating little bits of bad beef with vegetables inside of a giant bowl of gravy. I was not vibing with that at all.
That is a better way to describe the texture of the broth, though.
Yeah, it was very similar to
more
gravy.
of a gravy.
Yeah, and I don't vibe with
Thinner
that.
than a gravy, but similar.
Beef and veggie will give a 2-piece chicken nugget. It's not for me at all. Wasn't necessarily entirely unpleasant, but there's nothing there that I enjoy.
What are your thoughts on the good old chicken noodle?
Chicken noodle.
Do you have any other thoughts that you didn't express earlier?
Chicken noodle should have been the one. Like, quite honestly, like that should have been the soup that souped my soup.
Oh, God.
It's not, though, because the portions of it are all wrong. Little bits of chicken, long noodles, broth that won't, like, it's all over the place. Where, like, if you can figure out those portions, that's a 9-piece chicken nugget. But you didn't, so it's a 7-piece chicken nugget.
It's tied with the minestrone.
Yeah, because the minestrone had a really great flavor. This one had an okay flavor that I would have really enjoyed if I could figure out having it on the spoon.
That's a you problem.
The noodles would always hang off, and then when I tried to get them on, the chicken was too small where it would always float away in the broth. Then if I got the chicken and the noodle on the spoon, there was no broth in the process. Like, it just, those portions don't work together.
You need to see an occupational therapist.
My job's going fine.
And then, I mean, obviously the winner of the day, cheddar broccoli.
There was nothing appealing about that.
It's delightful.
The texture was awful.
One of the best
The way
soups.
it forms a membrane at the top.
One of the best
taste
soups.
was not good.
Amazing.
And then they said, you know what would be great to throw in this weird-ass cheese configuration?
Broccoli.
Broccoli.
Yeah.
The koosh ball of vegetables that feels like you're chewing on little bits of rubber and doesn't really have a taste to it. Like, that was, no. I'm not a fan of that.
One of the best soups. It's delightful.
Cheddar and broccoli soup is a 1-piece chicken nugget. And I'm only giving it 1 piece because it wasn't as horrible as I was expecting.
It wasn't a terrible flavor. Wasn't for you, but
it wasn't rancid.
Yeah.
But that texture was awful. And there's no flavor there that would make me go, you know what? Maybe we should give this texture another shot. No, that texture is done. I honestly probably should have gone with the punishment because we're still early in the season. That's my only no thank you bite. But
I will give this a one-time chance only. Do you want to take back your no thank you bite and opt for a punishment in the next episode?
Let's leave that up to them.
Comment down below. Should Joe be allowed to take his no thank you bite back and do a punishment, or are we keeping the no thank you bite?
That is going to be our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us as we've tried soups for the first time ever. If you would like to continue with us on this journey, be sure to like and subscribe.
If you have any ideas for new foods we should try or punishments we should inflict, please be sure to comment down below.
And as always, you stay crispy chicken nuggets. Make sure you try something new this week. Have a great day. If I blend up an orange into like a paste and then I throw it into water, it's not going to turn
not a paste.
into this. This was a tomato paste.
Not a paste.
You did something to this. I don't trust you.
God.
Campbell, if that's your name.